Welcome back and thank you very much indeed for joining us. This is TV3 New Day. Welcome to the biggest use segment and thanks to Grand Park Clothing in Dansoman for my outfit 020-985-5696. Again, 020-985-5696. Get straight into the headlines. The Daily Statement says NPP tables 38 proposals for constitutional amendments. Let's go for the COVID jab. President urges unvaccinated persons and time for strict separation of power. Majority Leader wants Parliament decoupled from the executive. And a Supreme newspaper this morning says war at Shashi Lorry Station as police assembly brutalized drivers over land. And Amansi South DC Aja 2021 most outstanding DC. That's my friend there. We used to call him IGP back in the day. Ghana Gas celebrates Otumfuo as pillar of peace, and Gold Ridge Ghana Limited sued. The Daily Guide. NDC accepts 2020 budget. Infante community mining scheme set for 2,000 jobs. Akuapem Polo set free, fined 12,000 Ghana cedis. 8 witnesses for Takrady pregnant woman trial. And Henry Korte tops online poll. Ghanaian Times. Government targets creation of 2,000 direct jobs under Infante Community Mining Scheme. Miracle Duka is Deputy Lands Minister. Akuapem Polo slapped with 12,000 cedis fine as court overturns 90-day jail term. Parliament must focus on utilization of e-levy, not oppose it, Majority Leader. And the banner headline at the NDPC assessment of SDGs, 2.3 million Ghanaians in danger, projected to live below poverty line by 2030. That's Professor Jan Bafo, is the chairman of NDP, former Minister for Planning. The Business Finder says the AFCFTA must work. Let's create conditions that will boost trade. Mr. Pianim is a respected economist. Also, ignore wicked conspiracy theories and get vaccinated. President Akufo-Addo in his 27th address on measures taken against the fight in a fight against COVID-19. And GEPA rallies women exporters to form partnerships. The BNFT school feeding grant still 1 Ghana cedis per plate despite increase in coverage to 4 million pupils. Increasing pension population threatens SNIT sustainability, a report says so. And Telco's chamber warns of spectrum shortage as mobile network operators call sharing regime to make their demand. And finally, the Daily Graphic. A champion wins graphic 70th milestone Kia Pegas. Also, first in crop history, minimum price fixed for cashew nut. Some say it's going to deepen the woes of the farmers. Fighting COVID-19 scare, Ghana not ready to open borders. Akufo-Addo is declaring. What's on the back page? Oli back to winning ways. And Awaku Stana power hats to first win. Ediana beat Ash Gold at Lenkley. Well, yesterday, I know that there's been conversations about whether or not who is contesting and who is not. Well, yesterday I got a press release from my good friend Musa Superior, press release dated the 15th of December, and I quickly read it to you. It says, I will contest for General Secretary of the NPP, and I have reflected on my contributions to the New Patriotic Party since the days of the Dankwa Buzia Club in the 1990s, through to the days the party was formed and launched in July 1992. As a foundation member of the party, I've decided to contest for the position of General Secretary in the 2022 National Delegates Congress of our great party. My decision to contest for the General Secretary position has been made even stronger by calls from the rank and file of the party on me to serve in that role. As a true, loyal, and dedicated member who is desirous in serving the New Patriotic Party in any capacity, I feel obliged to respond positively to the calls by numerous party people across the country. The government of the New Patriotic Party has performed well, that's what you say, but people will disagree with you. And we must build on the successes chalked by the government as part of our strategy to secure victory in 2024. It is for this reason that I offer myself for the General Secretary position to lead in galvanizing the grassroots to rebuild a stronger, thoughtful, and more efficient party capable of energizing and mobilizing first our supporters and sympathizers, and then millions of non-MPP voting citizens across the country to compete meaningfully in the 2024 general elections. The spirit of our party must be brought back. We must be ready now and at all times to properly plan and execute an efficient and innovative campaign for victory in 2024 general elections. I have the capacity and strength to find the lost spirit, revive the dormant party structures across the country, and serve the party people with purpose, greater assertion, and conviction in the mandate I seek. In the coming days, I shall formally make my vision public in my interaction with the party people across the country and treat my supporters as sympathizers to respect the directives issued by the party, not to use the venue of our upcoming national conference in Kumasi as a campaign ground. Let's respect and comply with the decisions made by the party. Thank you. That's Musa Superior, former mayor of the Tamale area. Joining me in studio this morning is Roxin Nelson Eche Dafia Makbo. He is the Member of Parliament for the good people of South Dain. And also joining me is Haruna Mohammed, is the Deputy National Communications Director of the NPP. Gentlemen, welcome. Good morning. How are you doing?
Thank you. Thank you.
Fine smoke, Haruna.
Oh, thank you very much. Very beautiful one from the north.
Sure.
Specifically Yendi.
I see. Council, good to see you. You haven't been here for a while.
No, for a short while.
Yes. Before your birthday and after your birthday.
Yes. You know, we are pretty busy.
I know.
And then you go in early in the morning, and the meeting starts from about 8, 9 till about sometimes midnight.
How's it going? Have you agreed to the budget?
You know, we are still standing by the decision to reject the budget in its current form. You see, there are a lot of people who have misunderstood our position. We cannot reject the entire budget, including your salary. That would be unreasonable. We are saying that the e-levy must be taken out. If it's taken out, and other conditions that we demanded, including making provision for Keta Blekusu, which has been done in a modicum way, reviewing the decision by government to increase government services by between 15 to 30%, reviewing the decision to reinstate the how do you call it?
The ACA.
Yes, the ACA. Yes. So once those things are done, we are good to go. And this is not the first time.
E-levy too?
Of course, e-levy is the first thing I mentioned.
You're not backing down.
No.
You're not meeting government halfway.
You know, because you see, there have been revelations
That,
for instance, the initial decision by government to get an SPV to do the collection at an agreed fee of 242 million plus annually. After the backlash, government has decided to disengage from that and to actually ask GRA to do it. So what informed government in the first place? To think along those lines. So it's good that we are interrogating the issues.
local content.
Exactly. Because you see, Johnny, I think we are moving to motion. Let me say good morning to my people in Peki, Kpali, Kweve, and Tongo. Look, there are market women who are collecting withholding tax on behalf of government. They are collecting VAT on behalf of government. They are not supposed to do that. But government found it as a convenient way for them to do the collection and submit them at the end of the month by way of annual monthly returns.
That's right.
You know, so there are these systems in place that are already part of the tax collection processes. And we are saying that, for instance, cash irregularities so far under this government is in excess of 3.2 billion, according to the Auditor General. Cash. Not other financial irregularities, just cash. How come as a country we are seeking to re-emphasize digitalization, and yet so much cash is getting to hands of the executive and its appointees, to the extent that the Auditor General is establishing irregularities in terms of usage. So people are giving impressed, though they are unwilling to account.
And civil servants.
And civil servants. Yeah, I mean, that's the executive. Once we speak of executive, Constitution defines government as the executive. So it's a problem.
See,
you know, you would have thought that once we are trying to move into digitalization and all, there will be less cash in the hands of people. But we are rather seeing more cash in the hands of people.
What do you say to those who suggest that, look, you have reservations about some aspects of the budget, but you are at the table doing appropriation and estimates. Now, the budget was presented on the strength of, for example, the e-levy coming in to fund certain aspects of the budget.
Yes.
Arcade deal will come in to fund certain aspects of the budget.
Yes.
If you are now sitting around the table to do appropriation and estimates, and you are rejecting certain aspects, by the time you finish your appropriation and estimates, and you have rejected those ones, won't it come back to bite us?
No.
Because the money we are looking for to fund some of those things will not be available by the time you are done.
No, then then those persons have a complete misunderstanding of how budget review is done. Now, before you approve a budget for a certain project for a certain period, what normally happens is that you must review how budget allocated in the previous year was applied. And that is how the national budget is considered. So, for instance, I have in my hands the estimate for the judiciary and the judicial service, which we'll consider this morning.
Okay.
Now, in this exercise that we'll be doing for the judiciary and the judicial service, they would have
mind the mic for me.
Yes, they would have told us how much they got from government for 2021,
Okay.
and how they applied it against how much they were allocated.
Okay.
Because, mind you, constitutionally, you cannot vary the estimates or allocation to the judiciary to their detriment.
Right.
That is why we have over the years succeeded in advocating for the distinction between the budget for the judicial service and the judiciary.
Okay.
Okay. So we have succeeded in doing that. So if you look at this estimate, you see the expenditure for 2021. If I don't sit in the committee as a member of the minority to review how the 2021 expenditures went, then I will be doing a great disservice to you and the generality of the people. So it will be totally unpardonable for the minority to say, because we are opposed to certain aspects of the budget and are demanding that they be reviewed or taken out, will abandon our constitutional duty of reviewing and scrutinizing how monies were spent for 2020. Otherwise, how else could we have established or determined that 32 million was spent by the Minister of Health on Zoom conferences in the 2021 COVID year?
Zoom conference.
Exactly.
So what went into it? We bought data with it or what?
He's still yet to answer.
32 million.
32 million. That's
organized Zoom conference.
Thank you. He says conferences. And when at the time when the president has directed that nobody should travel and that all conferences were held here. So you see that the whole year it's only the president that has done some travel. All ministers and appointees stayed, and we saw a lot of Zoom meetings. Even Parliament had to do some Zoom meetings.
And it cost 32 million.
That is the budget is brought. That is the expenditure is brought.
The health ministry.
Thank you.
Okay. So do you see an end in sight, as in bringing closure to this back and forth? And then I'll come to my brother.
So clearly it's
so clearly put the stamp on it.
Clearly we are exercising our constitutional duty of scrutinizing how 2021 monies were spent.
Can we do that before the year ends, so that by next year we will all know that we are good to go?
Yes, indeed. You asked the question that the e-levy, the expected proceeds from e-levy is supposed to fund some of the activities, but not all. For instance, we've established that when they say they will apply 1 billion of the e-levy for YouStart,
right.
Actually, about 700 million of that will be, they are expecting donor partners to fund it. You understand my point? Otherwise, if we were not scrutinizing the budget, how could we have made that determination?
I hear you.
So it's important. It's important that the minority participates in scrutinizing the budget. What we are asking to be deleted is the e-levy and review of other things that we had problems with.
Okay. Let me ask Haruna. So this is the position of the minority. I mean, is government ready to meet them halfway as well? Maybe back down and allow for all of us to have a good year in 2022?
We are not asking for meeting halfway. We are asking for complete
for the e-levy. You're asking for
yes,
complete.
that
Okay.
it should be taken back.
I hear you.
And reviewed.
Haruna, how does that sound to you?
Okay, thank you very much, Johnny. I say good morning to you. Good morning to your cherished viewers out there, and good morning to the good people of the Northern Territory and His Excellency the President and the Vice President of the Republic. Honorable, I appreciate the points that you have made in your preliminary discussions on this particular matter, and I think that in this parliament that we have in this current state, we need to build a lot of consensus. And I think that the finance minister, in his interaction with the media and the letter he had written to the Honorable Speaker of Parliament, did indicate that some consensus has been reached on certain matters. And I believe that Honorable has admitted here that when we talk about the Kita issue, some sort of work has been done or some allocation has been done, despite the fact that constitutionally it is only the mandate of the president that can assign budget and cost to items per submissions of budgets to the Honorable House of Parliament. And I believe that we are very happy that we are reaching this stage. You did ask whether the minority had accepted the budget or rejected the budget, and I believe that in all, summing up what Honorable have said, you would believe that this budget has been admitted by the Parliament of Ghana. Before a budget is being presented, I don't think that estimates are presented in bits. They are all presented in sum total. And believe me, this budget that we have presented is just the economic policy of government, the direction that we want to take through. And also, admittedly, we also look at and review what was done in 2021. And all these cost elements would have to be centered for discussion by members of Parliament. And I believe that if the budget had not been accepted, I don't believe we would have been doing some sort of discussion at the appropriation or committee levels for appropriations, for considerations. And if you look at the issue about the Eka energy aspect, it was just by a sentence construction what Parliament had agreed, and the statement that was put in the budget statement by the finance minister, which has been corrected. This has been done because it was part of the decisions by minority for it to be agreed. Then if you look at the Ejapa deal, if you go and look at the estimate that they are reviewing for 2021 and the estimate that is put for the 2022 budget, you realize that in the appendix there is nil. No allocation has been with respect for Ejapa. So it means that there is not going to be.
So why was it mentioned?
Because the finance minister mentioned and made reference to what currently the Attorney General is doing with regards to Ejapa. Far as Parliament has had reservations and some discussions too had gone through for that particular aspect or that deal, it is bent on His Excellency the President through the Finance Minister to let the people's representative to be aware of what is going on currently.
Well, Parliament had reservations. I remember in the 169-106 Parliament of the 7th Parliament.
Yes.
I know that the minority walked out, but your side passed the deal, the Ejapa deal, only for us to come to realize that, in fact, the law on which it was positioned had not even received presidential assent at the time when the deal was brokered.
Yeah, but that is why...
coupled with Martin Amidu's corruption risk assessment, all the issues that were raised, it looks like we have not ironed them out, but we are in a hurry to get on to the other step.
I disagree that we are in a hurry, because if we were in a hurry, we would have put budget allocations on them. But we have come to report to the people, the representatives of the people, the House of Parliament, the state at which the Attorney General is moving on this Ejapa issue. And if you look at the e-levy, the foot soldiers out there, they are intimidating the authority and decision of the minority. My very fine friend, brother, very brilliant person, Honorable Haruna Iddrisu, has made certain positions with regards to this e-levy, you know, admittedly, he came out to say that he did not get the understanding that this e-levy was a very good thing, and that even though their position was to get it scrapped completely, but he do agree that negotiations between the minority and government would give a certain level that this e-levy will be reduced. And the finance minister letter to the Honorable Speaker had indicated some agreement, of which about 0.25, right, would be taken off. And when this is agreed, and it's going to be worked on. And mind you, government of Akufo-Addo is a more listening government, because we would have said that no, consensus building wouldn't have been necessary.
You don't have a choice.
It's not your choice.
With the present hung parliament.
The point is that even if it wasn't a hung parliament, just like what we had in the previous parliament, we had the numbers. But better still, after the minority had had their say and we had our way, we came back to the realization that we need to do certain things. We could have still used the numbers and go, because the government care. We listen.
Why is, for example, President Akufo-Addo, who led the Komipreko demonstration in 1995 over VAT?
Yes.
And that Komipreko demonstration shook the foundations of the country to the point where the government had to suspend the implementation of VAT, come back to the table until 1998 when it was fully implemented. Why can't the government back down on the e-levy, given what Ise has said that it's a regressive tax, CSOs are speaking, minorities speaking, everybody seems to be against it now in its current form. Why wouldn't the government set it aside and have broader consultations before coming back? It does look like the government is fixated on e-levy at all costs. Why is that?
When VAT was being discussed, remember, VAT had passed the appropriation stage, of which the law had indicated which items were to be taxed, at what rate, which were the exemptions. This e-levy had not passed that stage for it to be suspended. It's not been adopted. The parliament have just accepted the economic policy of government. But parliament has not yet agreed to the various estimates to have an appropriation pass for government to have the power to spend. This has not yet been done. And you see that Honorable still has documentations that a committee would have to set to pass the judicial service, right? The allocations and what have you. Until that is done, the president cannot suspend what has not yet been approved. It will look like you are hatching your eggs or when it is not yet been done. So we haven't reached that stage. Remember, when it came to the toll levy, when it was being passed by a parliament under a certain precedent, the president of the republic, in the person of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, suspended it. When a discussion was centered on the construction of a new parliament house, Ghanaians frowned on it. The personality of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo suspended the whole issue. A lot of other things that he had taken the center stage to do.
The toll levy, you have a legal background. The toll levy and the suspension of same by the roads minister. Is it your view that it is legal?
Is it the road toll or towing levy?
No, towing. You know, you brought a towing levy.
Yes.
The NDC brought a towing levy.
You brought a towing levy
at the exit stage of John Mahama.
Yeah, amazing.
The media is aware. You can Google it. There was a towing levy, and Ghanaians cried over this levy. It took the president to take a step to suspend the implementation of these levies.
Okay, so that's what you're referring to.
With the minister's decision,
right?
You know, the minister has certain powers, and Parliament has powers to enact laws, and then the minister has the power to implement them. And in doing so, the minister did not come out to suspend that law. The minister came out to suspend the collection, not the law. The law still exists.
On the strength of which of our laws?
As the implementer of the law. He has not suspended the law.
But the vice president, the finance minister in parliament,
yes,
reading the budget on the 17th of November of this year, had said that if parliament approves, there will no longer be collection of road tolls. the finance minister is aware, and I'm sure the minister for roads, as a lawyer of many years of experience, is also aware of the legal ramifications. Because the finance minister is not the lawyer. And even him, he says, pending approval or subsequent to the approval from Parliament, then we'll suspend it. The next day or that evening, roads minister, who is a lawyer, a cabinet member, a minister of state, goes ahead to suspend it. And the excuse was that we're having chaos at the toll booths, people, lives and property. You have not shown evidence to that extent.
But Johnny,
you spoke about traffic. Kaswa is still choked. You asked policemen to be there to maintain law and order, but you can't have policemen protect those collecting the tolls. It doesn't add up.
Johnny,
Or it adds up to you.
You agree. You agree that the toll book, when he says there's chaotic nature in it, you agree it is true.
Where? Which of the toll booths? There are 38 toll booths.
You've passed through the toll booths, and you've not seen that there is overcrowding.
I'm saying that 38.
Yes, I'm saying that you have passed through the toll booths, and you've not seen that there has been a number of overcrowding at the toll booths.
He said there was violence. No violence was recorded at any of the 38 toll. And I dare the minister.
I have not read the minister's statement that says there was violence.
Should I read it for you?
Yes, where he said there was violence.
I'll find it for you.
Because the road minister says that for those areas that there is that level of overcrowding, where people have to travel time is being increased. Then we have this the environment is also being polluted by the long stay of vehicles on that particular stretch of road. There is that particular wear and tear and that wastage. So this taken into consideration, the minister did not suspend the law because he doesn't have that power to suspend law that is being implemented or that is being enacted by Parliament of Ghana. So he did not do so. The Minister of Finance sent a policy document that we intend to suspend or cancel collection of road tolls. So what the finance minister said and what the road minister did is not that the road minister has taken the law into his own hands. You look at the provisions in the constitution that is assigned to the minister for roads and transport. He has that particular obligation to take such decisions. And if he wants to suspend such laws, then he goes to Parliament for Parliament to do that. And that is very clear. And I believe that if this was unlawful or illegal, I believe that we are very mindful that we have a legal system that we could take the road minister on. And I believe that we'll get to a final conclusion if we test this level. And you did mention about Nana Addo leading the Kume Preko.
That's right.
And I believe that, demonstrations are legal. You can do it. And when he led it, we all know what happened at that time.
Right. People died.
Yes, people died. But during his time, even when we were demonstrating against the government decision then in 2012 for the biometric register and what have you to be done and done nicely, people's eyes were plucked. In 2020, when we had this situation, I think it was very peaceful. People had it. So he came from that background.
When we did what?
2020.
When we did what?
When we were doing the biometric registration.
Did you hear people were beaten?
Which people?
That 8 persons died
Where?
during the elections.
No, elections?
People were
registration?
killed?
We're talking about registration.
What are you talking? Were you in
we
this
are talking
country?
I was in this country.
Are you
I
kidding?
was in this country.
People were
registration.
People were beaten.
Where? Tell me.
What?
The first one was held in Tamale.
What?
The reason why you don't see me here is because I'm always in
Johnny.
Tamale.
Hold on for me.
Johnny,
so
okay,
I'm
you are
coming.
rebut.
People were
No,
not
no.
beaten. You
I'll
bashed people.
rebut.
So I remember
I'll
there was
rebut.
an occasion where Edem Agbana and Asidun Ketia, they were out there, forgetting, someplace, border town, Zaneva community, I think somewhere in the north.
You let him finish.
I remember that. People were beaten.
Nobody was beaten.
For the registration of the cards.
I challenge you to give me evidence of where people were beaten during the registration exercise.
I will.
Okay, all right.
The registration exercise was done peaceful. In your era, you have to pluck people's eyes.
Okay, all right. He said they will rebut, so I'll keep my questions to myself. Okay. Council, rebut.
Yes. First of all, I'll start from where he ended. I am scandalized to hear this morning that during the EC registration, people weren't beaten in this country. Even in my constituency, people were beaten. And when the registers, the initial registers came out, and persons couldn't find their names, and they went to the office to have their names inserted, again, scaffolds came out. In the border towns, people were beaten and turned away. So if you sit here and say that people were not beaten, you are being economical with the truth. To top it all, during the elections, for the first time in our democratic history in the Fourth Republic, during elections, 8 persons were shot. 8 persons. And you say they pluck people's eyes. So you value that, you regard that highly over killing, taking of lives?
John, I hope you give me the opportunity.
Yeah,
my brother shouldn't even go there. We just had a 1-year anniversary for these persons. And some parents commented even on your channel 3 days ago.
Kamla Dum did that.
Don't
killed
go
and
there
forgotten
this morning.
in an election.
And let me leave the generals and move to the specifics. Johnny, the MPP says that today a minister of state can by the wave of the pen suspend the implementation of a tax, a levy imposed only by Parliament under Article 174. Is that what they are telling us?
He says the minister is an implementer of policy.
Why?
So
Who told him that you can do that by way of implementation? The essence of NRCD 153 1973, the Road Toll Act, is to impose the taxation of a certain amount determined by Parliament. So to suspend the law, you ought to come to Parliament. That's what the Constitution says. You cannot by wave of pen suspend the law. You don't have that power.
But Johnny, he did not suspend the law.
Oh, please,
I just
please.
want to
allow me.
What is the essence of Road Toll?
So
the Road Toll Act. Hold on.
Oh no, I beg. I asked that. Sorry about that. Sorry. And this is I was looking for this release, dated the 17th of November, 2021. Press release: cessation of road and bridge toll collection nationwide. That's the heading.
I was going there.
It says, no, so I want to read for him because he was asking for evidence. It says, following the presentation of the 2022 budget by the Honorable Minister of Finance on behalf of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana, on Wednesday, November 17, 2021, the Ministry of Roads and Highways hereby directs the cessation of the collection of road and bridge tolls at all locations nationwide. This directive takes effect from 12 a.m. on Thursday, November 18, 2021. The Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Ghana Police Service will be on hand to provide security at the toll locations from the effective date. Motorists are kindly advised to approach the locations with a caution and observe all safety measures that will be put in place. The motoring public will be advised further on the measures in due course. Now, there's another one that was released the following day after the public uproar.
By same minister?
Well, not by the same minister. This one is by the Public Affairs Unit. And I had occasion to show the ink, for signing and all of that, but that's not the conversation. Press release: clarification on cessation of road and bridge tolls nationwide. Following the presentation of the 2022 budget statement and economic policy of government by the Honorable Minister of Finance on behalf of His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana on Wednesday, November 17, 2021, the Ministry of Roads and Highways directed the cessation of collection of the road and bridge tolls effective 12 a.m. on Thursday, November 18, 2021. Now, you were asking if there was chaos. The ministry is aware.
Violence. You said violence.
Yes. So I'll read for you. The ministry is aware that the statement on the road and bridge tolls by the Minister of Finance captured under paragraph 306 of the 2022 budget was to the effect that the cessation will be triggered immediately after Parliament approves the budget. That the people of Ghana do not know so much that they will, once they hear it in Parliament, they will think that it is in effect. Unfortunately, the Minister of Finance's statement either got misunderstood or misinterpreted by some motorists, as many of them deemed the statement as having immediate effect and therefore decided not to pay the road and bridge tolls. The insistence of the road toll collectors to have the tolls paid caused serious confusion and in some cases resulted in fisticuffs and damage to lives and property. Resulted in fisticuffs and damage to lives and property. It was to avert further unfortunate incidents that the Roads Ministry intervened by issuing the directive. And I'm saying that you have not proven in all the 38 locations where tolls are collected in this country, where there were fisticuffs and damage to lives and property. Note that. I'll come to you. Council, take your bite.
Yes. Johnny, thank you. The language used by the minister was cessation. That's where the emphasis is.
Of collection.
Please.
Allow him, please.
Okay. Sorry.
The essence of NRCD 153 is to impose toll collection. That is the effect of the law. That is the law that empowered the executive to charge road toll. The executive didn't take that decision as a way of policy. It wasn't a policy. It was through an enactment of parliament. And this law was amended in 1999. So we have the NRCD 153 Amendment Act, 1999,
Right.
Act 560, I think so, under Jerry Rawlings. Because 2 years earlier, we had enacted the Road Fund Act. There was the need for some amendments to the parent law. This is the law that gives power to the executive to collect monies on our roads. And then you say that you are bringing that to a cessation. And then they follow it up with the argument that the annual 80 million Ghana cedis that we get from road tolls is pittance. 80 million Ghana cedis is the equivalent of about $12 to $13 million or $15 million. I've been in parliament for 5 years. We have gone out to look for loans as little as $1 million and signed them. This government. So you cannot say that an annual revenue, constant revenue flow of about $15 million is pittance. That's an insult to the people of this country. So, Johnny, you do not say 10 is 11 because you say so. 10 is 10. It doesn't become 11 because you want to say it is 11. What is right must be done right. This government cannot, by a wave of pen, suspend the implementation of a tax imposed by Parliament.
So what do we do now?
So we have cautioned the minister.
Just like that?
No, hold on. You see, Johnny, and the supplementary statement that was issued the following day
By the Public Affairs
was
Department.
as a result of the fact that the minority leader raised this matter and I drew his attention that the law has been breached. So when he raised the matter and reminded the minister that he had no such power to, as it were, cause a cessation of the implementation of a law, then the majority leader, in trying to defend him, had to say that people were throwing fisticuffs.
Right, I heard that statement.
So if people were throwing fists, where's the evidence? They couldn't provide any from all the, like you said, from all the 38 toll collection points in this country. So in the afternoon after our proceedings, this statement came out, apparently quoting verbatim what the majority leader said on the floor of the House. And we want to remind them that even if fisticuffs were thrown a few hours after the budget was read by way of misunderstanding by the generality of the people, sanity could have prevailed by now. A constant flow of 80 million Ghana cedis into government coffers cannot be wished away like that.
Is that akin to causing financial loss?
Exactly so, and willfully so.
So if I did it, you would have held me before a court now.
I am not. I don't.
State, I'm not saying you.
Prosecutorial powers are not reposed to me.
No, I'm not saying. I said
So,
if I did that, the Attorney General Godfrey Dame would have come for me.
There is no time back to prosecuting a crime. So the reminder has been sent.
Okay.
And let those who have ears, let them
Like
hear.
crime does not expire. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Okay.
there's
Wrap up
no
for
time
me. So,
back to prosecuting a crime.
can-
And then he talks about Ejapa. I want to remind him. In 2019, when the Ejapa issue came in 2020, they insulted us. That why are we talking about Ejapa now and that we don't read? And that it was mentioned in the budget. And we sat and approved the budget. And so we cannot, after approving Ejapa as it was embedded in the budget, raise issues now. But you see, the same people, they went wrong, embedded Ejapa in paragraph 441, 442, and 444.
what did they say there?
This is what they said. And my brother says that they merely mentioned Ejapa. They did not merely mention.
The Minister for Finance said it was for information purposes.
Hold on.
Please mind the mic.
Yes, it wasn't. And here's what they said. I'll leave.
The
Yes.
previous
Okay.
ones and read the last
Okay.
one.
I'll start from 440. An amount of Ghana cedis 354 million is to be earmarked by MIIF for the small scale mining incubation program. All that. Then in 441, it says the remaining amount will be deployed for the debt support and leasing arrangements for mining equipment. MIIF will explore the de-risking arrangements through methods such as partial guarantees, risk, participation with local banks, and provide short-term funding needs and contract financing. 442, Mr. Speaker, the Mining Income Investment Fund also intends to list up to 49% of 800% owned subsidiary, Ejapa Royalties Limited. The funds raised will be used to support government's development efforts, covering education, road infrastructure, community mining, and health infrastructure.
Okay.
Hold on. 443, Mr. Speaker. Ejapa Royalties was incorporated in line with, then he went into the history of Ejapa. Okay. Then 444, Mr. Speaker. Government engaged in listening to stakeholders across board and made amendments to agreements to capture their consents. The revised agreements will be presented to Parliament for review and approval during the first quarter of 2022.
Okay. Mind the mic for me.
So it is not merely a mention in the budget. They are programmed it for the first quarter of 2022.
Will it be presented?
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
You said it was merely mentioned.
Okay.
Yes, I will still prove to you.
So it was not merely mentioned.
So allow him
You
to
can't
prove
prove
now.
anything.
No, I will
This is
prove
the
you
budget.
through the same statement that you
So allow
have.
him to prove now. Yes,
there
go
is
ahead.
Let me prove.
Go ahead, bro.
Let
Honorable.
me finish.
Honorable.
I thought you wrapped up.
No.
Okay, wrap
I'm
up
just
for me.
tackling him on Ejapa.
Okay, wrap up for me
So
now.
Ejapa was not merely mentioned in the budget. They have actually outlined a timetable to come back. And he mentioned about leaders' position on the matter. Leader said in his opinion, when they came to engage him, they painted a very gloomy picture of the economy. And so he would be minded if they could do 1%. Here are people who claim they were negotiating. But they are unwilling to even come down from the high level of 1.75. So what do you expect a man who said, if you could meet me at 1%, I will be willing to revise my position. If you cannot even meet me at 1%, then I must as well ask you to take it back, as I have already stated. And anybody want to fault him for this position? How can you say that a minority leader cannot have a mind of his own? So it is neither here nor there. He has always canvassed the position of the greater caucus, which is that they must take the e-levy back and have it reconsidered at a later date. Finally, e-levy. He says that Parliament merely approved of the economic policy and principles.
Okay.
These economic policies and principles underpin a lot of the estimates they brought. So even though we are going through the estimates for the 2022 expenditures are hugely premised on the anticipated revenue from e-levy. And if you look at all the things they have told this nation that they will apply e-levy to, it comes to less than 2 billion.
Okay.
So what are they going to use the rest in excess of 4 billion to apply to? Yeah, that is the question.
I'm sure he will respond. But just by way of information
Yes,
for
please.
you, I'm reading from the Ghana website, and of course it was on 3news.com as well.
Okay.
Banda voter registration violence, prosecute instigators. That's the Ghana Bar Association. So you were asking who was beating and whether anybody. There was actually one person who was killed.
Registration.
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Yes, it's a voter registration. Thursday, 23rd of July, 2020. It says the Ghana Bar Association has described as disturbing and totally unacceptable the violent events that occurred at Banda Hinkro in the Bono region and the Wutu Senya East constituency in the central region during the ongoing voter exercise. In the Bono region, a graduate teacher was killed
Yes, a young graduate
during
teacher.
a confrontation at a registration center. At Kaso on Monday, 28 July 2020, the sitting MP Hawa Kumsing fired a warning shot at the registration center as chaos marred the exercise. So somebody was killed, not just beaten, but killed. I know that Edem Agbana, Sedun Keti as well, were manhandled, along with some people.
Johnny, nobody manhandled Asidin Ketia. You would have heard him organize a press conference on that.
So when he said that he was manhandled, he was lying.
Where? Nobody. There was no evidence to that.
But
At
I've
least
showed you that somebody
we live
was
in a
killed.
world where videos are very, very
But I've
prominent.
showed you that somebody was killed.
Yeah, but you just read a statement. It's left with
It's
me.
not a statement.
It's left with me to verify.
It's not a statement.
But I can't
You want
verify
to
this
verify
statement.
December 2021?
But do you want to verify Cherkuni, where more than 5 people were
no.
killed?
You
Do you want to verify Jakpai in 2008?
You are trying to equalize.
No, not
are so
equalize.
incredible.
Not equalize.
So
No, it's not
incredible.
about equalization. You see, he's asking what I want to verify. You know, Cherkuni, people were killed. More than 5 people were killed in Cherkuni because of a by-election. In Jakpai,
That's why
you
you
know
killed
Malam
it.
Basha.
Hold on.
That's why you
Because,
killed
you know
it.
Malam
Counsel,
Basha.
please.
His son was killed in Jakpai.
Nobody is
A
denying
journalist,
that.
Mohammed Bondirbum.
Nobody is denying that, my brother. What you sought to present to the public was that nothing of the sort happened during the registration exercise for a voter ID card. And I just provided evidence to you.
You would agree that on previous voting and then voter registration, 2020 was the most peaceful.
It was?
Yes. Instances you see people come take ballot box and run away. Instances people come, they would have to drive them away.
There are no
The
ballot
instances
boxes
that
at registration centers.
Thank you.
The point, I'm saying that he spoke about election.
No.
He spoke about election.
No,
I was correcting him too, so he blended the two. The point is
Counsel,
that you
please.
blended the two.
My
So
brother,
I'm allowed to blend election and registration.
At least I have lived in this country since I was born. I have covered elections since 2004. No electoral commissioner worth his or her salt will bring a ballot box to a registration center. To do what?
But did I say ballot box? No, I said that ballot boxes during elections has been taken.
No, we're talking registration.
But this was the correction I wanted you to streamline him on registration. But you allowed him to talk about 8 people dying in election.
I said,
so I should be allowed. I should
there
be
were
given
violence
the same,
during registration
I should
and there
be
were
allowed,
deaths during elections.
I should be allowed and given the same space and platform to also blend the two and move along.
I think hold on for me. I think that you should accept that there was at least violence during the registration, as I've proven to you, as you sought to suggest that
Johnny,
it was not. Because I finished reading a statement. You say you want to verify.
You see,
the families of the people, of the person who has been killed, will not be happy with you this morning.
The point is that I am telling you that as compared to previous registrations and elections, 2020 was far better. And I also want to draw this point.
I'm not doing a comparison. You are not listening. You are not listening to me.
The point is
I told you he mentioned that people were beating. You said it was not correct. I have read a statement to you and a news item where the Ghana Bar Association is asking for the instigators of the killing of a graduate teacher in Banda, hold on for me, be dealt with by the police. That matter has not been closed. And you say you want to verify what the Ghana Bar Association, which you remember.
I said I can't, I'm not a lawyer.
You are not a lawyer, okay.
Yes, I'm not a lawyer. I am saying that you've mentioned of 2 instances, right? Ghana has how many constituencies? If you are going to do a research, what will be the margin of error? What will be the space? what will be on the basis for you to generalize that.
Okay.
On that aspect, I think Ghanaians are very clear.
Okay.
We are very sensitive. We accept the fact that some people have lost their families. And it is not in the interest of the MPP to say that it is something we must not look at. It is something that we should not console them of. But I'm saying that in everything that you do, for you to arrive at a conclusion, there's always a comparison.
Okay.
So if you mention this is the case, I can tell you, looking at the previous elections, what happened. In Etua, you know what happened. When Anita Dusoso got panicked, you know what happened. In Bimbila, you know what happened. In Charpani, in Jakbai. In Tamale, you know what happens if there is such registrations. But lo and behold, 2020 was the most peaceful in terms of that particular sector.
In terms of elections and registration as well?
Yes. Johnny?
8 people have been killed.
We accept that fact.
And you call that peaceful? BBC called it bloody. Al Jazeera called it bloody. DW called it bloody. International press, if you Google it now,
and
they say Akufo-Addo gets re-elected.
That is why they will never
hold on for me.
Same election observers had told us this is the most peaceful election that has happened. Same election observers.
Okay.
But I want to...
Yeah, go ahead.
You made a point
that
in the statement that was issued by the Minister of Rules, that there was that content of violence, chaos, and I said it was not.
Right.
So when you read the statement, there was no such content inside.
That's what.
The minister never mentioned about chaotic. He never mentioned about violence. He never mentioned about fisticuff. And I understand.
Is the minister different from the ministry?
Oh, but in your own analysis,
is the minister different from the ministry? So that is the concussion. That is the lie we were told.
Not the lie. The point, lie. Even in his own analysis,
that is the lie we were told.
He admitted.
Allow him to.
That is the lie we were told.
Eche, please allow him.
I never admitted to anything.
Eche, allow him, please.
No, if I say you
go
can play
ahead.
it, because you mentioned it here that the fisticuff that you are mentioning of is as a result of what the minister did.
I said,
and they could not prove to you.
I said, that is the
essence.
I said,
that is the essence of which that statement was issued. You get the point? Because some people were passing through and collect, don't collect. That was where those fisticuffs.
Do you believe honestly that there were fisticuffs and damage to lives and property? Do you believe?
The point is that.
No. Do you believe?
The point is that I was not at those stations.
I'm saying, do you believe?
I was not at those stations. And you know, the ethics of journalism says if you sit here and it says that it's raining outside, your duty as journalist is not to amplify the rain.
And to provide...
But it's for you to open the window and check.
And to provide information for you, all 38 locations, as we checked the following day with video evidence, said there was nothing of the sort, so the ministry lied.
All the 38.
All the 38 on my life.
Until that is proven, you are saying.
I am saying that we did the cursory check.
But you say you don't believe unless
until it is. Yes, that is what, until proven. That's what I said.
So,
I still stand
until it is proven.
Believe
it. You don't believe the statement.
Until it is proven. He also mentioned that the minister cannot suspend the law.
Right.
The minister did not suspend the law. It was a cessation of collection.
But what empowers the minister to collect that toll?
Thank you.
It is the law that empowers him. But he does not have the power to suspend the law.
But I'm saying that...
But he has the power... But the minister has been opening toll booths. The minister has been closing toll booths.
Because there's a law that allows him to
Did he come to parliament to close some of...
But if the law is already there, what do you come to
So if the law is already there to allow him to ask for cessation, what is wrong with that?
I'm saying which part of that law?
But I'm saying that the minister in the course, even before the mention of the finance minister, has been closing down some toll booths.
I say which part of the law?
It's not about being which part, but I'm proving to you that the minister has been closing down some toll booths.
Which toll booth did he close? Allow me, please.
And opening toll booths.
Allow me. Which toll booth did the minister close?
The minister has not suspended any law.
Which toll booth did the minister close?
The minister of transport can't open toll booths.
No, it's the minister for roads.
The minister for roads, yes, can't open toll booths.
I'm saying which toll booth did he close? But the minister
can close toll booths if it so decides that the location of the toll booth is causing certain
My brother, there are only 38 tolling points in this country. 18 of them are managed by the state.
Bope toll booth.
Hold on for me. And 20 are managed by a private contractor. I'm saying which of the of the toll booths did the minister close?
Sometime this year, the minister stopped collection of tolls at Bupe
Because
of a reason.
what's the reason?
But you said which one? I just proved to you
so
that
give me
this
the
year.
reason,
No,
then
but
we can-
the point is that which one has it closed? The point is which one has it
amazing,
closed?
The logic, the BP, I was there.
The
A vehicle had broken down.
There was no
making
vehicle
fast-
standing
Please,
there. You are
please,
using that road.
I
You are
used
asking
that- I
which
used
one
that
has been
road
closed.
at that time, and it was temporarily closed for like 4 days just to ease movement.
There was closure. There was cessation.
But
He
it
asked
was
which one.
under certain circumstances.
Is
A
it when-
vehicle-
when-
a vehicle
when-
had broken
well,
down.
allow-
A vehicle had broken
Eche,
down.
allow
Does
him.
it amount to cessation?
The point is that what
is this?
was cessation taking place or not? It was closed because there was no collection of
It
tolls.
was suspension for temporary suspension.
But the minister has
Temporary
suspended this one
suspension.
too, and it is a crime.
Why?
He has
The minister-
suspended the collection.
Ad infinitum.
He has suspended the
Ad
collection.
infinitum.
He has suspended
I am
the
asking
collection,
you,
and
ad
this is a
infinitum.
problem
Don't
to you.
speak Latin. We speak
The minister
English.
has
Ad
not suspended
infinitum.
any law.
Infinity.
Ad
Secondly,
infinitum.
Okay.
secondly,
Yes.
he talked about revenue, that we are because of the revenue that will be coming from this toll collection, and then we have insulted the intelligence of people of Ghana. Remember the finance minister, before he can do so, we have what we call cost-benefit analysis.
Right.
He has to do that cost centers to look at it. If you should go this way, how much are we going to get? If you should set off this, how much are we going to get? The minister did not just arrive at taking off that revenue just because he's insulting the
Eche, allow me. Eche, allow me,
people of
please.
Ghana.
Okay.
Did we
You get the
not?
point.
Did we not agree in 2020 by the government's policy budget that was presented to Parliament that in 2021 toll booths will be a source of revenue for the country? Did we not agree?
We did.
Now, why is the minister implementing a yet to be approved budget for 2022 in 2021?
The point is that the minister came out to have a suspension of collection. The minister has not suspended the law.
No, you are not answering my question. I'm saying
And
that we
the
agree.
parliament he represents, where he comes from, can't call the minister for him to answer why he did so.
My brother, my question is, we all as a country, through our 275 parliamentarians, agreed, based on the proposal government brought to Parliament, that in 2021, we are going to collect monies from toll booths and we're going to use that to develop our country.
Well, we're going to increase it.
Correct? Now, I don't even want to get into the increment at the vetting table, what he said. We agreed that we're going to use that, right, in 2021. Now, do we know what this cessation of a collection of the tolls is doing now to our development agenda? Do we know? You said cost-benefit analysis. Has he done that?
Johnny, you know, in 2020, we passed a budget. In 2021, for 2021 budget period, COVID got us somewhere March 2020, right? And in 2029, we passed a budget. It was not inclusive of COVID, how we should handle it, how the president will be able to give some sort of cushioning to the people of Ghana. The people of Ghana, through Parliament, did not pass such expenditure lines. There is always a point for which the manager, you know, if you have an institution, a corporate body like Ghana, you have those who manages it and the stakeholders. And, you know, if there is an issue that you have to tackle immediately, head on, you need to take that decision. And if Honorable here thinks that what the minister did is illegal, I think that he can file an urgent question in Parliament. He can pose that, and the minister will be hauled before Parliament to answer that.
I see. Okay.
To answer that. And
You-
he mentioned about Ejepa and said, and I said that the minister only provided information.
But he has read
He read portions that
441,
they would.
442,
They
443.
would. He has not gone to the appendix to point to us how much has been said there. The minister didn't say that we have, we would. And what he said in 2022 is going to be a document that is going to be presented before Parliament for debate. It is not going to be presented for an expenditure to be incurred. The minister will be presenting that in 2022 for Honorable Minister and his colleagues to debate with regards to that aspect of EJPA. So I still stand by it. It was information purpose that he was giving and giving explanation of what it is, what it will bring, and what he will bring to Parliament for debate and acceptance. So it was just information purposes. And if you look at the e-levy issue, he talked about Honorable Haruna cannot have his own opinion. Nobody said so. It is your own foot soldiers. And you did mention, if the likes of Sami Jemfi and Co could caution, no, I'm not rehashing.
He's rehashing because he's rehashing. And I reacted.
It is his time.
And he's reacting to my reaction.
Yeah, so they caution them not to have their own opinion. And I told you, Honorable Haruna Idris is a fine gentleman. We come from the same place. I come from Zabzugu. He comes from Warbogu. And I believe that they should allow these people to speak their mind.
I hear you.
And to have their own opinions to help Mother Ghana to grow.
I hear you. Thank you very much indeed. Interesting comments I'm getting here this morning. I'll read a few of them. I'll come back.
Johnny.
I'll come back to you so we can wrap up. But let me read a few comments. Bosheba Amisti Ngoso Zongo says, coronavirus is still in existence, so let's all get vaccinated and wear our nose masks to protect ourselves from this deadly disease. Regards to, Good morning, TV3. Honorable, that's not Honorable. Okay, Honorable Agboje's submission in Parliament yesterday regarding the budget for Roads Ministry has showed the kind of MPs we vote to Parliament. They either do not understand their mandate and they're doing petty politics. How can you punish a whole ministry belonging to the state because of his behavior of the minister in charge? Well, the minister is supposed to provide leadership and vision. And that is why we also employ consultants and also a chief director who is a technocrat. So I think that sometimes the ministers must consult, not to be lord and monarchs of all they survey. Abdul Salam Joa from Bimbila. The introduction of e-levy policy will not do us any good, but rather increase hardship in the country. Government couldn't manage this country with revenue generated from our natural resources, and they think e-levy will be the game changer. Osman Bukurisan in Tamale. Johnny, the reps in Parliament represent people's opinion. They are there, and there are a lot of people out there who are against what the government wants to introduce. The e-levy is a concern. Let the government also reconsider their decision. Things are hard, and this hardship has no political color. Aram Adenta News site. Good morning, Johnny and your panelists. We, the nurses who did our national service in the WA Municipal Government Hospital, still have not received our allowances after offering our service for 1 year. We are tired and hungry. TV3, speak for us. Ajasuma from WA. Please, Johnny, kindly ask this question for me. The president said he's aware of the difficulties we at the borders are going through. So what is he doing for us? George Aka of Elubu. Hope for a visit. Maybe it will come. Johnny, thanks for the good work you and your team are doing. The video of hawkers at Sogakope barrier touched me. Just last week, 2 people were knocked down by a motorbike when a lady who is now dead trying to cross the road cell on the other side, which led to their death. It's about time government makes a plan for these people. The situation is aggravating. Good morning from Target in Adidome. Well, I've told the Minister for Tourism to look sharp. Johnny, I appreciate your efforts. May God bless you and take you higher in all your endeavors. I am part of so many NAPCO media platforms. The NAPTAG president removes anyone who criticizes the program. Should we keep mute and suffer? God bless you and TV3. Mark from WA. For all you know, the NAPTAG president could be employed. You may never know. He could be there representing. Nobody can force or gag our minority to accept what is bad for good people of Ghana. Ghanaians' interests are paramount, and minority must not hear these people who use the oppositions to cow them. They must be strong in their conscience and reject the budget anytime it comes about. Alaji Willie P. in Efiekuma. Johnny, the place where people were beating and even a newly trained teacher was killed in Banda is in the Bono region. Good morning, Johnny. The NPP, led by President Akufo-Addo, has failed the teeming youth of the country. President Nana Addo is only president who won the 8, while 8 persons died and shed their blood because of his victory for the NPP. Triddle says so. Good morning. Why am I expected to provide COVID results before arriving in Ghana and again pay an extra $50 at the airport for a PCR test when vaccination is mandatory? Complete rip-off. Don't force people to vaccinate. Educate. 2, why suspend road toll when you claim you need money for e-levy? You scrap source of money for an illusion and run people jobless to claim you want to solve unemployment. Please, NPP and the government should be truthful. Good morning. On the issue of hawkers at the Soga Coffee, the issue is very simple. Did you take your time to interact with them hawkers? They actually refused to relocate. The assembly made an attempt to relocate them, but they rejected it. My grandfather used to say something. He says, a good leader will take the people where they want to go. A great leader will take the people where they ought to go. The assembly, again, must show leadership. Upon all the efforts made by Bella and Johnny, the CEO of NAPCO has decided not to attend to the issue of our stipends. Anyway, Eche, step in for me.
Yes, Johnny.
Wrap up for me. Quickly.
As for education.
Please mind your mic.
The minister.
My people will beat me today.
The minister, in his own budget statement, submitted on behalf of the president, says this. Mr. Speaker, Ejapa Royalties was incorporated in line with Section 3A of the MIF Act 2018 Act 978, as amended by the Minerals Income Investment Fund Amendment Act 2020 Act 1024, which allows the fund to create and hold equity interest in a special purpose vehicle in any jurisdiction in furtherance of its objects. Ejapa Royalties was incorporated in Borwick of Jersey to operate as a publicly traded pure gold royalties company, with the fund intending to assign a portion of its gold royalties to the SPV. Paragraph 444. Mr. Speaker, government...
That's your last paragraph.
Yes, government engaged and listened to stakeholders across board and made amendments to the agreements to capture their concerns. The revised agreements will, not would, as my brother seeks to suggest, will be presented to Parliament for review and approval during the first quarter of 2022. This is the opening paragraph of the budget. It says, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable members of Parliament, on the authority of His Excellency the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, I beg to move.
Okay.
Hold on. For this August to approve.
Our time is finished. We watch it on TV. We watch it on TV. We watch it on TV.
So this is not something merely for us to approve.
Okay.
This is a program that they have brought.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So it should stop miseducating the people.
Have your second. Let's go. We have to go. We have to go. Yes, sir.
Honorable has still maintained that point that it will. It is not.
I said it will.
It will, not before Parliament.
What are you saying?
Okay. Thank you.
Not before Parliament.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's not before Parliament.
Thank you very much.
It is before Parliament.
Haruna Mohammed is Deputy National Communications Director of the NPP. He joined us here. And also Roxanne Nelson Echedafia Mako is the MP for South Dai constituency. Was here on the ticket of the NDC. Now somebody says, who brought this MPP rep to your studio? I beg, release the MPP rep. Why? Oh my God. Hey, a government spokesperson. Why is he defending everything? Prince Henry Koforidua says, good morning, Johnny. Without e-levy, we can neither fix, build roads, nor pay 4.6 billion owed contractors. That's according to Oseichim and Sampos. And it says, the e-levy now looks like Kokwe being sold on Trotro from Chebi to Bole.
It's like free SHM.
This medicine is a solution to all the problems in Ghana. Alaji Hamza in Pig Farm says, in my humble opinion, the 2-4 should first and foremost invite President Akufo-Addo to Ashanti region for him to tell him what he has used the taxes he collected from the good people of Ashanti region for. That's what he says. Well, happy birthday to a belated birthday to my good brother, the Flight Lieutenant Mark Ankra of the Forces Paid Regiment at Burma Camp. It was your birthday a few days ago. Happy belated happy birthday to you. And thanks to Grandpa Clothing in Dansoma for my outfit. 0209855696. There's more here on New Day, sports, entertainment, and some deep conversations. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Water gives life. Water is life. Enjoy the pure, refreshing taste of Awake purified drinking water, which comes in a uniquely designed bottle with a lemon green tap. Water is your perfect way to stay hydrated. And remember, for every bottle you buy, an amount will be donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center, Ghana. Awake purified drinking water, one for life. For bulk purchase, contact 0262 351 251.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
From 1st November to 31st December, TCL is giving away up to 30% discounts on all the appliances.
May switch from this TV to TCL QLED TV.
May switch from this washing to this TCL washing machine.
Let's switch it from this heat